Every morning, the countdown begins for the markets with meticulous research and analysis designed to help you capitalize on the trading day. Beaming live from the CNBC TV 18 Motilal Oswal studio.
Well, hello and welcome to Bazaar Morning Call. We are coming to you live from the CNBC TV 18 Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Nigel, with me is Rima, and in just a bit, Prashant will be joining in as well. It's a Friday morning. Remember, it's not a long weekend, but we will be working on budget day. But plenty to track, Rima. We've seen a bit of a respite in the last few days. We've got the budget on Sunday. And in all probability, when we come in on Sunday, we'll know who's the new Fed chair as well.
Indeed, there's so much to talk about. But as you said, it's not got that Friday feeling because we've got only a short weekend, one-day holiday, and then back to business as usual from Sunday, 7 a.m. But quickly, to run you through some of the big cues. When it comes to Wall Street overnight, it was a mixed close. While the Dow managed to close in the green with a gain of about 0.1%, the Nasdaq ended lower by 0.7%. But here are two things to note. One, there was a fair amount of intraday recovery that we saw. The Dow managed to recover nearly 450 points from the intraday lows. Even the Nasdaq recovered from the session lows, but it was still weighed down by the 10% fall that we had in Microsoft. While Meta and Apple did well, Microsoft was the big drag, and that put pressure on Nasdaq overnight. The other big story in global markets overnight were these large swings that we had in gold and silver. Look at silver in particular. Silver saw in the last 24 hours saw a high of nearly $122. It dropped down to levels of 106, and now it's back to levels of 110. So very, very wild swing seen in gold and silver after the near parabolic moves that we had. When it comes to the Indian markets, we've had 3 good days on the trot. 24,900 is where the markets, the Nifty at least, seems to have made a double bottom twice. And from that level, we've climbed to nearly 25,400. So that is an improvement of 500 points. But yesterday, we once again had that sell figure. And today, there are 4 Nifty companies which report their numbers: NTPC, Bajaj Auto, Nestle, Power Grid. Tomorrow, that's on Saturday, Sun Pharma will be reporting numbers, and so many earnings reactions also to navigate through the day. But we'll discuss the cues in greater detail, the earnings reaction. But before that, Nigel, what are the cues that you're looking at and the setup?
Well, Rima, the last couple of trading sessions, the intraday dip has got bought into. And given that the gift Nifty is suggesting that we're likely to open up with a gap down of close to under 100 points, I'll be interested to see whether or not that dip does get bought into, because the last few trading sessions at least, traders actually have been successful. So maybe, initially we will see a bit of a recovery from the lows, and let's see whether or not we sustain. But I think that dip gets bought into. One problem that we have seen the last few days is Brent crude prices. We were sitting comfy. Brent crude prices, $62, $64 per barrel. Now, that number has moved close to around $70 per barrel because of the cuts that we are seeing, in the United States and various other factors, geopolitical tensions as well. You don't want this Brent crude price to go out of whack. Till $70, $75, I think you're okay. You don't want it to go higher than that, though you want a suppressed number in terms of Brent crude prices. What about the flows? The DI buying offset the FI selling, and good to see. The FIs now are selling a measly 400 crores. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll take that. A flattish, a negative 300-400 crores. Par for the course, if they turn buyers, even better. But institutions were net buyers. Well, the FIs, everyone's wondering whether or not they're covering shorts. And that's why this market is going up. Actually, that's not the case. They went ahead and they added shorts. They've added close to 12,000 short contracts. The short positioning has moved to around 88%. And the shorts are in the system. So we need to look for that good news. Whether it comes from the globe, whether it comes in budget 2026, that's going to be important because some of these shorts will be scampering for cover. Given that the FI positioning has now moved to net short of around 1.85 lakh contracts. Clients, they're doing the exact reverse of that. They've gone ahead and they've added some long positions, holding at around 1.3 long contracts. But what about stock futures? Well, the FIs, they added some kind of shorts out there. Well, there was some long unwinding that we've seen, but that's more an arbitrage play, I think, so with regard to what they're doing in the cash as well as on stock futures. The encouraging sign came in on the index options front, because yesterday, after a while, they wrote close to around 3 puts for every 1 call. So telling you that maybe in the near term, there is some sort of a base inside. Going to the options data then, given that we have a very, very big weekend that's coming up, the 26,000 call, there is some out of the money call buying yet again. Last couple of trading sessions, you've seen that. So, if someone is willing to go in there, take a bit of a punt and, buy that strike for around 30 rupees and all you lose is around 30 rupees. While on the flip side, there is some writing as well in the near term. That 25,450 call, that's seeing a good amount of openness build up with the premium at around that 200 rupee odd mark, which brings us to the levels. The 20 DMA, that's going to be important to track from here on. We need to get past that to feel for the momentum on the upside. While the 200 DMA, that'll be the first reference point on the downside. Till that 24,900 mark does hold out, you'll have to say that the bulls will believe they're still in the game. And the Nifty Bank, that's the one that's kept them in the game. It's been moving from strength to strength, almost at a fresh all-time high. Remember, a couple of trading sessions ago, it went to 58,000 and very swiftly back at around 60,000. But that dip is there today. In the last few trading sessions, the dip has got bought into. Let's see whether or not it takes place. I think at some part of the day, that dip does get bought into. But Prashant joined us finally. Prashant, welcome. It's a Friday morning. Tell us, how are you looking at the cues?
I mean, one day before the budget, right? And I think it's always interesting. I was thinking what happens on the budget. The market's going into the budget week.
Yeah.
Usually the month after the budget is also weak. But the day of the budget, and this is a Sunday, no FIs, no foreigners. Usually the range is, I mean, it can be anything between, I looked at the last nine budgets, including the two interim budgets. Range can be 1% to 4%, right? So usually
how many
the day...
How many downs?
By close.
Yeah.
I think more down than up.
More down.
I mean, generally, on a lighter note, I mean, I think budgets are not good news. Have not been great news. I mean, into the budget, post the budget, and on the day of the budget as well. I mean...
Just one more statistic with regard to that. When we go into the budget with a 3% cut in that previous month, normally I think some history is there, and I'll pull out that data, that more often than not, when you see a negative 3% get into the budget, then the following month at least is good. So clutching onto some good points of news.
Absolutely. Let's just, very quickly just add to what Rima and Nigel have said, right? And this is the thing, equities, gold, silver, everything saw one whiplash, basically a very, very big whiplash. Volatility is perhaps going to be the name of the game. When you have this kind of extended positioning, and that's the number on the Nasdaq, right? I mean, sharp intraday recoveries. But when you have this kind of gold, silver, etc., will come up. Okay, let's just talk about oil as well, right? The other big Q, which is at $70 now, it slowly crept up. The general consensus view was oil is going to go down, more oil in the global markets. But will markets really do what what consensus really tells us? Remember, weekends are always big. All the big events in terms of geopolitics, in terms of military action, this, that, the other, have all happened on weekends. If you just go back and see the last one plus year. Iran has announced military drills. There's a big build-up around Iran, US build-up around Iran, and I think markets are nervous. So 71 on oil. So gold and silver, and perhaps, what we saw last night, it's not the last time we'll see something like this because positioning is so overextended. Any small bit of nervousness, and I think the nervousness came through after the tech earnings, etc., and the sharp fall in Microsoft. But it kind of spread through very quickly. And that's the function of overextended positioning. So gold low was 5,100, by the way. So $500 fall intraday. Silver fell from 122 to 106. Tech earnings, Apple Q1 seems to be strong. iPhone numbers are strong. Microsoft, Meta, Rima mentioned all that. There's a Wall Street Journal report. Amazon is going to invest up to $50 billion in OpenAI. More deals on the AI side. President Trump, FT says, will announce his nominee for the next Fed chair tomorrow morning, our time, which is basically tonight, our time, and US time tomorrow. So this time tomorrow, we perhaps will know who's his pick. There are two people in the race broadly. And he repeated the same thing. Interest rates should be the lowest, and we should be paying the lowest in the world, etc., etc. Nifty yesterday, and this has broadly been the call as we came into this week, that, again, overextended positioning in India on the negative side, and there is perhaps room for a bounce. So, and that bounce has played out, 370 points in 3 trading sessions. So we are now, by the way, we are out of the falling channel. It's a very steep channel. So I think we'll just work around and put numbers around the channel. So the next resistance is the low of 12th of January, which is, by the way, also a touch point on the channel. That's the low. That's the next resistance. 25,473 is that number. So it's very nearby from where we are. We should not fall below 25,295 now. Because the channel is downward sloping, I mean, the numbers also, the supports also are lower. 25,295 is that number. For the Nifty Bank, we've been around the 20-day, playing around the 20-day for a while now, 59,589, and we are slightly, I think, above it. But we'll have to, I guess, give it one more day, 2 more days to figure out where we are headed. Rupee hit a low yesterday of 91.99. Offshore, of course, has already hit 92. And dollar index is up 1/3% this morning. Now, rupee has fallen when dollar is down. Okay, will it fall when dollar is up? I mean, it seems like we're kind of in our own rhythm with little to do with the global, the bigger, broader dollar in that sense. So keep an eye out on this one as well. You need stability more than anything else at this point in time.